Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board. Today's date is Thursday, April 27, 2023, and this meeting is hereby called to order. And I'm going to ask our clerk at this time if you could please call the roll and read the public statement.
Katie Valenzuela. Rod Brewer.
Present.
Pat Hume. Karina Talamantes. Garrett Gatewood. Kevin Spees.
Present.
Mai Vang. Patrick Kennedy. Phil Cerna. Rich Desmond.
Here.
Katie Maple.
Here.
Shauna Lowy.
Here.
Sean Farmer. Sue Frost.
Here.
Mary Jane Lopez Taff.
Here.
Noel Mora.
Here.
We have a quorum with 8 members present.
Okay, thank you.
This meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.net. Today's meeting will be repeated Saturday, April 29 at 4 p.m. on Channel 14 and can also be viewed on Metro Cable 14's YouTube channel. The meeting will also be recorded via Zoom. A DVD copy will be available upon request no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. The full agenda, including reports, is available on the library website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should raise their hand in the Zoom program. Please speak clearly when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. Please also note that participation in this teleconference via telephone rather than the Zoom app may result in your telephone number being visible to the public during the live broadcast and later telecasts of this meeting.
Thank you. And at this time, I'm going to invite everyone to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have had a little bit of a challenge with our quorum today, so we're going to adjust our agenda and take our consent and our action items first, and then we'll proceed with public comment and the rest of the meeting. And did you?
Item 6, consent.
Yes. So I wonder if any of the members have questions on consent, or do we have a motion for approval?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Director Desmond, second by Katie Maples, Director Maples. And are we voting with the machine or verbally? I'm sorry.
I'll read roll.
Thank you.
Katie Valenzuela. Rod Brewer.
Aye.
Pat Hume. Karina Talamantes. Garrett Gatewood. Kevin Spees.
Aye.
Mai Vang. Patrick Kennedy. Phil Cerna. Rich Desmond.
Aye.
Katie Maple.
Aye.
Shauna Lowy.
Aye.
Sean Farmer. Sue Frost.
Aye.
Mary Jane Lopez Taff.
Aye.
Noel Mora.
Aye.
And unanimous with 8 members present.
Thank you. And I didn't ask if we had any public comment on that item. We do not. Okay, thank you. Next item is item 7.1, grant acceptance, lunch at the library grant.
Thank you, Chair Frost, members of the Library Board. This is a grant we've received from the State Library to fund our Lunch at the Library program, and this year the State Library was able to expand the program with some additional funding to help adults who come to the library. A bulk of the funding comes through the United States Agriculture Department, and so it's restricted for only children, but this additional funding that we've received with that grant will help us provide food to the adults who are coming with their children, so everyone will be able to have a meal, so the parents and caregivers can take part as well. So this is a pretty substantial grant, and this will fund this Lunch at the Library program We are only one of a number of partners in the county that offer this. So other places offer lunch at the library as well, but this will be at about half of our locations.
Oh, that's wonderful. I wonder if we have any directors with questions? Yes, Director Maple.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the grant.
Second.
We have a motion by Director Maple and a second by Director Laloe. If you call the roll.
Katie Valenzuela. Rod Brewer.
Aye.
Pat Hume. Karina Talamontes. Garrett Gatewood. Kevin Spees.
Aye.
Patrick Kennedy. Mai Vang. Phil Cerna. Rich Desmond.
Aye.
Katie Maple.
Aye.
Sean Laloe.
Aye.
Sean Farmer. Sue Frost.
Aye.
Mary Jane Lopez Taff.
Aye.
Noel Mora.
Aye.
And it's unanimous with 8 members present.
Thank you. Next item is item 7.2, American Rescue Plan Act Grant Acceptance, Sacramento, County of Sacramento, Special Purpose Government Grants.
Thank you, Chair Frost. This is also a grant that we've received from the county through the ARPA funding, and this money is earmarked for funds at Isleton, Cortland, and Walnut Grove for some fixtures and some furnishings to refresh some of those outdated items. This was funding that was worked on by a former member of the Library Authority Board, so we're happy to get this funding now that the year has begun, or almost a third of the year way through the year. So,
And I want to especially thank Supervisor Natoli, who was a former member of the library board and on the board of supervisors, and who did a whole lot of, on his way to retirement, he did a whole lot of good things in the county, and I guess this is just one of them. So thank you, Supervisor Natoli. We know you're probably not watching this movie right now.
He might be.
Oh, he might be. And so I wonder if anyone has any questions for staff? And if we have any public comment on this item? No public comment? And so moved by Director Laloe?
Second.
And seconded by Director Brewer. Please call the roll.
Katie Valenzuela. Rod Brewer.
Aye.
Pat Hume. Karina Talamontes. Garrett Gatewood. Kevin Spees.
Aye.
Mai Vang. Patrick Kennedy. Phil Cerna. Rich Desmond.
Aye.
Katie Maple.
Aye.
Sean Laloe.
Aye.
Sean Farmer. Sue Frost.
Aye.
Mary Jane Lopez Taff.
Aye.
And Noel Mora.
Aye.
And that's unanimous with 8 members present.
Thank you. And I think at this time we say goodbye to Director Laloe.
My
I'm sorry.
apologies to all. I have another commitment that I have to run to, so
Don't
I appreciate you
Don't
understanding.
forget your
Oh, yes,
gift.
I've never. Thank you so much.
I think it was packaged with care, so
Absolutely.
I know it was.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Okay, at this time, we're going to move on to public comments on matters that are not on the agenda.
We don't have any.
And having none, we'll move forward to item 3.1, presentations. The Friends of the Library, I believe, have a presentation.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
My name is Rachel Caldor, and I am a member of the Friends of the Library board. And I now request that staff present to you and play for you a brief video that we provided. Thank you very much. Friends of the Public Library, Sacramento Public Library, are asking each of you to join each of us in supporting this year's Friends Day, of Big Day of Giving. The campaign through your personal or discretionary fund contribution, and by having staff repost and tweet our social media offerings. And we do thank those of you who've supported us in this effort last year. The funds raised by the Friends on the Big Day of Giving directly support Book First and Summer Reading, two programs which provide a big assist to the library's goal of improving early childhood literacy, as well as bringing greater community awareness of the library and its many services. Book First, in particular, has given the library unprecedented access to local schools, access which didn't exist before Book First, which you just saw presented briefly on the video. Schools which have been reluctant to schedule presentations by library staff have become enthusiastic partners with their local branches upon seeing their students' excitement during Book First visits, also what you saw in that video. Now, many schools email their youth service librarian to ask when they can please schedule their Book First visit to their classrooms. Book First and Summer Reading carry the message of the joys of literacy and libraries far into our community. For this reason, we're asking for your support of the work of the Friends of the Sacramento Public Library on this May 4 Big Day of Giving. In addition to the Big Day of Giving, the Friends will convene on May 9th for our board meeting, and we look forward to continuing the work of supporting our library. And I thank you for your time and the opportunity to present this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Do we have any members who have questions for Rachel? Rachel, you have anything?
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say thank you, and I hope you will extend our gratitude to the Friends of the Library for all that you do to support the library system and everyone in Sacramento County. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is item 3.2, National Volunteer Week 2023.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leslie Gatto. I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Sacramento Public Library. Oh, this works really well. And next to me is Muriel Neal. She is our volunteer, one of our volunteers at the Central Library. And she's a freshman at McClatchy High School. And she has agreed to read the proclamation recognizing our volunteers as part of National Volunteer Week. Let's take it away, Muriel.
A proclamation recognizing Sacramento Public Library Authority volunteers for National Volunteer Week. Whereas National Volunteer Week will be celebrated in public libraries throughout the country and Sacramento County and all of the cities and communities therein from April 16th, 2023 to April 22nd, 2023. And whereas in 2022, Sacramento Public Library volunteers were able to provide a total of 59,198 hours of service in libraries. Examples of the volunteer service provided include adult and teen volunteers providing 34,870 hours in support of library operations, adult literacy volunteers providing 5,232 hours of tutoring for adults wanting to improve their education levels, and 19,096 Friends volunteer hours with branch affiliates, book sorting and sales, assisting with the Book First initiative, election support, and supporting the Book Den. The volunteer support at $29.95 an hour equates to more than $1,772,980 in support of, or the equivalent of 28 full-time employees. And whereas volunteers show their commitment to service to the community by homework coaching, English conversation group facilitation, adult literacy tutoring, make and take kit assembly, data entry, shelf reading, book sorting, book selling, job coaching, advocacy, and participation, and whereas volunteers are passionate about Sacramento Public Library and the communities it serves, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board does hereby proclaim April 16th through April 22nd as Volunteer Week in thanks to the 1,030 volunteers who support and enhance our libraries, issued this 27th day of April 2023.
Great job.
Yeah.
That was a great job.
Thank you. Okay, so can we bring up the first slide of the PowerPoint, please? And I just wanted to present to the board and the slide deck to give you a brief glimpse of the volunteer program at the library. Oh, and I've got this handy thing, all right. So, beginning with the statistics for the 2022 calendar year, we have listed the number of volunteers that we had help out at the library and how many hours they volunteered. And if you're wondering, we are at about 65% now of pre-pandemic numbers, so we're increasing and slowly building up those numbers again. Let's see. So while quantitative data is an important metric for a program, I'd like to share some visuals with you. So at each branch, we have volunteer coordinators who work closely with the volunteers at the branch libraries, and these volunteers consist of adults and teens who donate their time helping with a wide variety of library tasks. So we asked them this: what do you like best about volunteering at the Sacramento Public Library? So I just wanted to share with you some of the responses. This is Georgia Bland. She volunteers at the Central Library, and we all love seeing Georgia. I work at the Central Library too, so Georgia is a joy. We're glad to have her there. We also have Rory Borelli. He's a student, and he especially thinks that we have cool staff at the library, so I want you all to know that. And then there's Alfred, who is also at the Central Library. As you can see by his quote, he likes to give back to the community. He's a longtime volunteer at the Central Library, and we really appreciate him. Now we're switching to South Natomas Library. So this is Shonquinta Jones. Shonquinta is a new friend of the library. She's now on the board of the Friends of the South Natomas Library. And she and her family do use the South Natomas Library. That's their neighborhood branch. And then we have Susan. Susan Davis James is also, she's a longtime board member of the Friends of the South Natomas Library. And she is a big supporter of the branch there and the library system as a whole. This is Anna Marcello. She's a longtime volunteer. She also volunteers at South Natomas, and she is also helping our archival librarian, James Scott, with a project at the Sacramento Room. Now we're moving along to the Robbie Waters Pocket Greenhaven Library. This is Richard Swanson and his assistant. He is a return volunteer. He volunteered before the pandemic, and then he came back. So, and this is my favorite response because it encapsulates the best reasons for volunteering with the library. So if you can read the caption there, those are the Friends of the Library at Pocket. Also, they're volunteers. They just recently had their volunteer appreciation event. Okay, almost done. So this is Ben Goldman and Adrian Guzman. They're our high school students. They help us with a lot of detailed work at the library at the Community Engagement Services office. They're a big help. They also ride their bikes over. You can see the bikes in the background. So next is another Central volunteer, Tyrone Weaver. He's very helpful with getting all the swag together to send out to the branches. He also was very detail-oriented. I don't know if you've ever counted tomato seeds.
They're so small.
He was very patient with putting 5 tomato seeds in each envelope. He didn't complain. He smiles about everything. He did a lot of filing, too. Filing. So Tyrone's the best. Anyway, and this is Yvonne and her daughter, Kara. They came to volunteer. And when I asked them the question about what they liked best about volunteering, they said swag. because I gave them some swag, like the bags that you have in front of you. And so I'd like to thank our volunteer coordinators for sending me their volunteer pictures and quotes. And they are a direct connection to our advocates, which are library volunteers. Please accept a little library swag bag put together by a volunteer, and thank you for your time. Oh, and the items were chosen just to give to our volunteers. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Leslie. And Muriel. This is beautiful. They gave us a swag bag and a little notepad, so that's very nice of you. And I want to say to the volunteers, you know, when I was at the city of Citrus Heights, we used to always keep track of the volunteers because they contributed a lot of man hours, and we didn't have to pay for those man hours. So it was like the value added for the city. It's the same way at the county, and I know it's the same way at the library. We wouldn't be as good without you. So thank you so much for your service and your dedication. And I don't know if anyone else has any comments or...
Well, I also just wanted to say to the young lady, thank you so much for coming up and reading that. I know it's not easy to go and speak up when you have a bunch of people sitting up here, and I really appreciate you doing that, taking your time out of your day to participate and be a part of the library system. So appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay. That was a nice presentation. Next item is 3.3 National Library Workers Day 2023.
Thank you, Chair Frost. So this week is National Library Week, and it started yesterday or Monday. The week has already gone by really quickly. So it started Monday, and we're happy to have this proclamation for the library workers. And so if your permission, I'll read this.
It'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
A proclamation recognizing public library staff in honor of National Library Workers Day 2023. Whereas National Library Workers Day is observed throughout the country and in Sacramento as a day for library staff to be recognized for the contributions they make in communities across North America. And whereas National Library Workers Day was observed on April 25th, 2023 as part of National Library Week, a celebration which began in 1958 to highlight the invaluable role libraries play in the community. And whereas National Library Workers Day celebrates the employees who work tirelessly to transform lives and strengthen the communities by providing vital and necessary services in literacy, education, and entertainment. And whereas the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board expresses its admiration to the staff of Sacramento Public Library, who daily strive to better our community through improving the lives of those who use its services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board does hereby recognize the employees of the Sacramento Public Library, their dedication to the residents of Sacramento County through their excellent programs, customer service, and community building. And it's dated this day, April 27th.
That's great.
And Chair Frost, I might just say, as the director, I think that we have the absolute best staff of any library in the country, hands down. And I'm not just saying that because it's my job. I really, truly feel that. I've been here a little over a year, and I have come to know the staff as being very dedicated, very hardworking, very passionate. And I've worked in lots of libraries and worked with lots of people. But I do think that we have by far some of the best library workers in the country. And it's a privilege to be here, and it's a privilege to have them work with us and for us. And I think this proclamation is just a small token of our appreciation. But I think that they deserve much more, but this is what we can do. And I'm happy that the Library Authority Board is willing to recognize the staff.
And I just want to say, I think you deserve credit to Peter, because you can't lead unless someone will follow, and inspirational leadership is what creates the best of teams. And I want to say that I've been on the library board for a few years now, and before COVID and during and after, you learn a lot about people and how they react to situations that create challenges. And the library authority and the library system, during times when we had to close the libraries, they went above and beyond to try to figure out how to continue delivering service, how to deliver it in different ways, they were flexible and pliable and thinking outside the box to think of what can we do to make it better. And they were extraordinary, and they still are. So on behalf of the board, I want to thank you and all the library team for all of your hard work.
Thank you.
You're here.
Yeah.
It's okay to clap.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I think we have item number 4.1, our executive team report. Mr. Coyle.
Thank you. I am happy to announce that the Fair Oaks branch will close on April 29th for a number of weeks to get what we're calling a mini refresh. So it's going to get some new furniture, some new carpeting, some new paint on the wall. And so we're also going to try and refresh the collection a bit. So that library will be closed for a little while, but it will reopen in time for summer reading and the children to come and do those things. So we're happy that we have the funding to do that and that we're able to work through that. This refresh was a little delayed because of supply chain issues, like lots of things, but we're glad that it's finally moving forward. And I think it'll be a really great addition to the services to have a little bit of a scrub down of the building. So it'll be nice to have new things.
Madam Chair, can I
Yes.
ask a quick question about that? Thank you, Peter. Do you
Yes,
have
sir.
anything, a bulletin or an announcement or something you could send my way that I can push out
Sure.
to my email list?
Yep.
And okay, that'd be great.
We'll take care
For
of
the Fair
that.
Oaks
Not a
community.
problem.
Thank you.
Yep.
Actually, I would like that too, because
Okay.
Orangevale and Fair Oaks are really connected, and a lot of my constituents will want to know.
Okay, we'll make sure we send wording to all the authority board members. You can have that and share that with your folks. Happy to do that.
Now, those
Yeah.
refreshes they make an amazing difference. I mean, I remember when we had a refresh at Sylvan Library, and it was beautiful. So that should be nice.
Yeah, it'll be really nice. Yeah. We also have a new exhibit which is being installed as we speak. It's a traveling exhibit. It's in partnership with the Smithsonian called The Way We Worked. And that exhibit will officially open later this week. We'll have a number of programs that go along with that. We just got the flyers printed today, so we'll make sure the authority board members get copies of that so you can be aware of that.
Excuse me,
yes, ma'am.
Peter,
Yeah.
will the traveling exhibit just make different stops at different libraries then on different
sorry,
dates?
I should clarify. It's at the Central Library.
Okay.
It's a large display which is going to be when you first walk in the entryway. It's a number of panels, so it's traveling around the country and it's just
got it.
making a stop here, and so it'll be in our Central Library for a number of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. We just concluded our prom drive giveaway, and we have community members that donate used fancy apparel, and we have both dresses and suits and other things. Very popular. We had to turn off donations from the community because we were overwhelmed, but we helped a number of students, young people, and today we just found out that 2 individuals who had come to the prom drive giveaway to get clothing, they were named both king and queen of their high school prom, wearing clothes that they got from the library.
Wow.
And so I have to, just take a minute to think that if the library wasn't offering that service, would they have been able to attend their prom and have that happen to them? So just another way that the library helps the community in unusual ways and meet the needs of our young people so they can have good experiences. And since it is National Library Week, I just want to highlight 2 stories we included in the report. And I'll read these if you don't mind. Rancho Cordova Library had this experience, the staff wrote. A man named Rob asked for help with getting his print job at the branch. He said he used to be homeless and would sleep in a sleeping bag on the property at night and come in and charge his phone when the library was open. He said we have always been kind and welcoming no matter how he looked. Now he has a job as a security guard and just bought a car so he can start working doing food delivery too. He was so proud and wanted to let the staff know that he appreciates them so much. The staff thanked and congratulated him, and that's one of those make your day interactions, the staff report. And so we don't know who comes in our library, what services they need, but obviously it's something that impacts people, and it's one of those things that why we do what we do is so we can have our community improve and be better. And we had the Community Services Department says that one of our staff members from the Adult Literacy Program received a thank you card from a learner to express gratitude for the ESL program. The learner expressed the confidence they gained from learning English and inspired them to enroll in college. And the Literacy Department hosts some of the most widely attended programs for adults in Sacramento Public Library. And the letter we received clearly shows the impact this small team is making. And, we don't often get thank yous from people who take part of our programs and services, and we don't do it for the thank you. But these thank yous really highlight the value that things that we take for granted, right? Literacy is a key to libraries, and it's something I think that we sometimes lose focus on. We look at technology and all the new and fancy things, but really it's the basics that make the biggest impact in our community, and so we're really grateful to be able to be part of those two stories from our library users. And that's what I'll highlight in my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions the authority board might have for me.
I see no questions on the dais. I don't know if anyone on the Zoom would like to ask a question. I don't see any hands raised.
Hi, this is Mary Jane Lopez Taff. I just wanted to make a comment. Mr. Coyle, thank you so much for sharing those stories. It really does show the impact, and I really appreciate those stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Lopez Taft. Peter, thank you. Those were inspiring. You just keep coming with more inspiring stories. Good things happening. Okay. I don't know if we have any public comment on this item. Thank you. And so the next item is information. For 5.1 is our monthly financial report, and 5.2 is our monthly treasurer's report. We normally don't report out unless someone has questions, and I see our more than capable numbers guy, Johnny, in the audience is here in case anyone has questions. And seeing none, do we have anyone on Zoom with questions? Okay, and do we have any public questions regarding this? Okay, and with that, I will ask the board members if they have any reports or ideas or questions that they would like to express before we adjourn the meeting. And seeing none in the house and none on Zoom, this meeting is adjourned. Have a good day. Thank you.